Hey everybody, it's Jack Ballou. Thanks for tuning in to the Horse Fitness YouTube channel. And if you have my book, 55 Corrective Exercises for Horses for Changing Postural Habits, you've probably seen this exercise of riding with a Lariat. Admittedly, I think Lariat, I'm using it in a very general term. So sometimes this apparatus you put around the horse's neck might be stiffer. Like some people even use something like a heavy duty cord rope, or sometimes people use like a small hula hoop actually, which is very stiff. I just use like a lead line that I'm not currently using for leading horses around. The purpose of this exercise is a few things, but mainly to activate the base of the horse's neck. This is such an important, for one, this is where the horse's neck vertebrae merge and transition into the rest of his spine. So it's this area that is highly innervated. So many nerve signals originate from the base of the horse's neck and dictate. That's where a lot of good quality ease of movement comes from. The problem is a lot of things can go wrong down there. You can have muscular imbalances in the chest itself. You can have restriction in those vertebrae, and on and on and on. But this is a technique for helping stimulate and activate the base of the neck. The other great thing about this technique, if you just do it a few minutes here and there on a weekly basis, is for horses that tend to be really heavy in the reins. And what I mean are, those are the horses that like kind of constantly pull your arm like it's being ripped out of the armpit, or their mouth, it just feels like it's kind of dead or doesn't have any sensation. You don't get that nice chewing and mobility in the mouth. It's just always sort of clamped. Those horses can benefit from activating their scapula, awakening their posture in a way that helps the scapula come back instead of constantly falling forward like us. Instead of having this posture where everything's falling forward in a heavy, clunky manner, if you can draw your scaps down and back, not only can you breathe better and see better, but it allows a lot of pressure to come off the rest of your joints. When you ride with the Lariat, just keep it really simple. Get it adjusted so that you can hold the contact lightly as you're used to, and also just so that you have enough feel of this rope that it's contacting the base of his neck. So I don't want to walk around like this because this isn't doing anything. I want to shorten this up so I can hold my hands in a normal position on the reins, and this is contacting the base of his neck. And then the way I have people start in lessons is you're holding the reins and the rope like such, and then just starting with walk-stop transition. So I'm going to ask Diamante to stop, and I'm mostly using that rope. I'm exaggerating so you can see it. I'm mostly using that rope, and then hopefully the bit is the second thing to activate. And hopefully you don't even need that part of using your hand on the bit. So I'll walk a little bit. I'm going to use my body and this neck rope. See, that time my reins stayed mostly not engaged on his mouth. That's what I'm looking for. When he steps off, I let my hands lower a little bit so the neck rope releases some of the sensation at the base of his neck, and now I'm going to stop again. I sort of engage that rope upward towards my belly button. That time he was a little, he kind of resisted a little bit, right? You saw him add a few steps of walk even after I asked him to stop. So we would say he got on the forehand or he got heavy in front. So let me try that again. Okay, so here we go. Hope. Yeah. Now I'm going to see if I can get him to back up a step with this neck rope. So I bring my shoulders back to indicate to him, hey, let's back up. And then I use sort of a backward pressure with this rope. He's sort of ignoring me, so I'm going to add my normal cue with the reins till he gets this idea. Okay. So then I'm going to try it again, see if I can use less rein pressure, because that's really what we want, right? We want him using the body, not the bit. There we go. There we go. See, this time this rein's a little bit loose, but I'm engaging the rope to ask him the same thing. So again, we're asking him basically to awaken this area, to respond to simple cues without needing the bits. But some people would say, okay, well, why not just, I could ride my horse in a halter and accomplish the same thing, right? Well, you don't get the same benefit as I'm showing you of activating the base of the neck. That's the difference here. So I can do a turn on the forehand with my neck rope. And if he wants to walk forward like he did right there, I give him a little, I'm going to exaggerate so you can see, like a little check with the neck rope to say, hey, don't walk forward. Let me turn the other way towards you. I'll use my rein a little bit here, and then I'm going to try and let the rein go slack mostly and just keep my pressure on the neck rope. Do a little turn on the forehand, and then I could go back to riding around the arena, ride some basic serpentines, really turning him from my seat, using I'm exaggerating my arm position so the rope is guiding him this way and now this way. And I'll sometimes have riders in clinics kind of do this for maybe 5 minutes. I find this really helpful, especially with a lot of the gaited horses that can get irregular in their gaits and they're kind of falling forward, or their gaits are tripping a little bit in the front end. This is a helpful technique. For horses that tend to rush a little in the canter, this can be surprisingly helpful. And that's how it's described in my book. But I just wanted to make the point with this video that there's a lot of other ways to use this. And like I say, it doesn't have to be a fancy apparatus. And you don't have to do fancy maneuvers. I'm not suggesting, unless it's appropriate for you and your horse, that you put the Lariat on and then take off your bridle and ride around. I mean, if that makes sense for you, that's fine. But for most of us, the idea is that you're coordinating this cue with the rope and your bridle and trying to use less and less of your bridle. So simple serpentines like this, your walk-stop transitions, you could do a little backing up like I demonstrated, and your turns on forehands and all that good stuff. It is a helpful routine. They use it a lot in thoroughbred off the track retraining, and because it helps educate them about the bit without getting too heavy. So try it out, play around, see what you think. This has been Jack Ballou. Thanks for tuning in.